What is going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon. I'm back with you for another Dolphins with Dillon. This is my Dolphins at Jets recap, breakdown, so on and so forth. I am going to do things a little differently than I've been doing it the past couple times. You know, I'm trying to consolidate it, make it shorter. I did kind of like doing the whole, drive-by-drive breakdown and stuff. I tried to condense that because it was too long at first. Then I just decided that I'm going to just give you the stats, give you the basic information, and talk about it a little bit. So first and foremost, we win. Dolphins are now 2-0. Our Miami Dolphins have started the year at 2-0, and we are atop the division because the New England Patriots lost today to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is phenomenal. The Bills lost. They are 0-2. We beat the Jets, obviously, so they are 1-1. This is great. At least for the time being, and I think, frankly, for, the entire season, we are going to sit atop the AFC East and fight and battle our way to an AFC East crown. I have said that. I think we are going to sweep all of our divisional opponents, 6-0 within the division, capture the division, and move on. I think we're going to be sick nasty. And, was this game perfect? No. By no means. Were there mistakes? Absolutely. But there were definitely improvements in some key areas. We were able to do some of the things that were super necessary and important for us to come away with the win. And so, we can all be very happy, I would say, with the performance of the team thus far through 2 games. I mean, like I said, it's not complete. There's definitely things to clean up, but it is still early in the season. And, we all knew it was going to be a tough game against the Jets, a division rival. It's always tough against the Jets, and we were in their home. But, we did it. We came away with the W. So, and before I get into, the analysis and the stats and stuff like that, let me just go ahead and say that, like I've been saying all week in my previous videos, the Jets were not that spectacular. And it was evident today when they played a better team than the Lions. The Lions, I believe they lost again today. They're just not very good. Matt Patricia's having a hard time since leaving New England. But anyway, so like I said, I mean, they were not, they were not as hyped up, or they were not going to be able to live up to the hype that they, gained from their first game. I've said that they have a good defense. They do. They did some good things. I said they have a good quarterback. I like Sam Darnold. He's good. I think he's going to be good for the Jets. It sucks. The Dolphins fan of me, thinks that sucks because, I know that he's going to be, problematic for us in the next few years. But it is his rookie year, and we can expect mistakes and stuff from him. So, anyway, it's like I said, there was no reason, if anybody was getting worried because of all the hype around it, there's no reason for it. So, anyway, having said all that, let's go ahead and start getting into this and breaking it down. So ultimately, we come away with the W that puts us at 2-0. We won with a final score of 20-12. That puts us at 2-0 on the year. We've had 2 conference games already, or both conference games so far, so it's 2-0 in the conference, 1-0 in the division. Great standings, obviously, so far. And we need to keep it up. Our next game is against Oakland at home, which I think we're going to win that too. But, we'll get into more of that later. So for total yardage, we definitely could have done better. There were obviously some mistakes and stuff, which I'll get into later, but they outdid us in total yardage. But, part of that was because of the fact that, we got up on them 20-0 pretty quick in the first half. And then going into the first half, they were still, we were still shutting them out. So, obviously they had to throw a lot, and that's part of the reason why they ended up getting as much yardage as they did, and why, Darnold ended up getting as much yardage as he did. But anyway, so we had 257 total yards. They had 362 total yards. Passing yards, we only had 122, but Ryan Tannehill was overall efficient. He didn't make too many mistakes. Obviously, there was the 2 fumbles. One of them was his fault. I would say, well, there was 3 fumbles all in all. 2 of them on him. One he got back, one that he lost. And then there was the one Daniel Kilgore. I don't even know what happened with that. He just kind of lost it. Anyway, so, but, like I said, there's things to clean up, but overall they were pretty good. That's what kind of killed their drives in the second half. So they had, 320 passing yards, like I said. They had a lot of passing yards because Sam Darnold was having to throw it. Rushing yards, we had 135. They had 42. Real quick note, Frank Gore was able to get enough yardage to become the 4th leading rusher in NFL history, so congratulations to him. That was awesome. It was also perfect that it happened in this game because he surpassed Curtis Martin. But also, like I said, we were able to, meet some of the keys of the game. So we were able to rush. We were able to, have a ground game. We managed 135 rushing yards. Some of that came off of Tannehill's legs, which was great to see, both from a health standpoint and that they will be able to utilize his mobility and athleticism, as wrinkles in the game. And then they only had 42 yards. We shut them down. Isaiah Crowell and Bilal Powell. We shut them down. It was great. Yards per play, we were at 5.7, solid. They were at 4.4, not bad either. We would like to hope to maybe, get that down a little bit, for our defense, but our defense did all right. And honestly, if they have a yards per play at 4.4 average, if that's what we have it for, the entire season, definitely won't hate on that. And if we have a 5.7 on, for us, definitely won't hate on that. So fumbles, we lost a fumble. They lost 2 fumbles, though. We only did lose one of the fumbles, but we were able to get 2 fumbles, as well as we were able to get 2 interceptions. Excuse me. We got 1 fumble and 2 interceptions. They got 2 fumbles. 2 of the 3 fumbles they were able to get of ours, but they didn't get any interceptions. So we obviously did overall win the turnover battle there, 3-2. So obviously we definitely, they're gonna have emphasis on making sure we don't have those fumbles, which I'm sure they will get hammered out. But again, winning the turnover battle is great. So 3rd down conversion rate, we improved upon that. We still need to continue to improve. We were at 30%, but they were at 46%. So we definitely, that is an area that both sides of the ball still need to focus on. Our offense needs to improve upon that, and our defense needs to, hold them to less. But as the season goes on, I think they will tighten things up. They will get better as units, as their respective units, and get that. Time of possession, we had it for 31-35. They had it for 28-25. So we won the time of possession battle. And then penalties, we only had 2. Phenomenal. Obviously, we would like to have none, 0, but 2. If we had 2 on average a game, fuck it, whatever. Who cares? 2. Whatever, we can overcome 2 penalties a game. They had 7, so that was obviously something that helped to swing the game in our favor. Okay, so let's get into some more individual stats here. Ryan Tannehill was 17 for 23. He had a 73.9% completion percentage, so that's great. He had 168 yards, solid, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I think his passer rating was like 123.1, if I remember correctly. I don't know what Sam Darnold's was. I forgot to look it up. I meant to. I meant to look up both of theirs, but I forgot before I did this video. Anyway, point is, he was doing really well. He was balling out for the most part. And he was highly efficient, and he did what he had to do. We saw really good things out of our offense again and our defense. And, they definitely played well together in all phases of the game, which is really important. And they need to continue that, and they just need to get better with their consistency, particularly on offense. And if they can do that, which I think they, I think they can, I think Gase and this squad will be able to do it. Which, by the way, real quick, I know Devontae Parker was kind of a surprise not there, but I think they really just wanted to make sure, give it one more week, so I expect that next week he will be back in the lineup. Also, I think that our offensive line did rather well overall for sure, but I would like to see them sign somebody for depth, if nothing else. Somebody to help with that interior of the offensive line, particularly on the left side at that left guard position. There are still some notable free agents out there, so I hope they do at least pick somebody up. But overall, it was pretty solid. So Sam Darnold was 25 for 41, 334 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Like I said, he's still a rookie. He's going to make his mistakes. He had 41 pass attempts. That's why he had 334 yards, and they were trying to play catch up the whole game. So, that's understandable. We were able to keep the running game in check, and we were able to keep him in check for the most part. We definitely kept him in the pocket, limited his ability to move around and extend plays. Okay, so getting into the rushing statistics, Kenyon Drake had 11 attempts for 53 yards, 1 touchdown, and a 4.8 average. Ryan Tannehill had 8 attempts for 44 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a 5.5 average. And Frank Gore had 9 attempts, 25 yards, which got him into the 4th spot for all time, 0 touchdowns, 2.8 average. So, as a whole, our running game did really well. We got over 100 yards, which is great. If we can just average 100 yards in the run game, period, that's fine. It doesn't need to, our running backs don't need to have spectacular games. And frankly, we don't, no pun intended, we really don't want to. We want them to, we want it to be a 2, 3, 4-headed monster. So, that includes Albert Wilson or maybe Jakeem Grant lining up in the backfield. Kalen Ballage maybe when, as the year goes on. Ryan Tannehill and him being able to use his legs. So that is super important. And obviously overall the average yardage per rush was pretty solid and, definitely something that's workable and we can continue to improve on that. Obviously, like I said, we kept them, we held them to hardly anything. Isaiah Crowell had 12 attempts for 35 yards, 0 touchdowns, and a 2.9 average. Bilal Powell had 5 attempts for 6 yards, 0 touchdowns, a 1.2 average. And Sam Darnold had 2 attempts for 1 yard, 0 touchdowns, a 0.5 yard per rush average. So obviously, like I said, there's one of the keys. We need to do that week in, week out. We need to make sure we're stopping the run game and make teams one-dimensional. We were able to do it this week, and then when we can do that, we can get our pass rush going and we can start getting sacks and hurries and pressures, fumbles and interceptions and stuff like that. Okay, so moving on into the receiving statistics, we had some solid production out of, a bunch of receivers as we like to. Of course, we want to make sure that we spread the ball around, keep people guessing, and Gase wants to be very creative with this offense. Albert Wilson was 3 for 5 for 37 yards, 1 touchdown, and a 7.4 average. Danny Amendola was 4 for 4, 32 yards, and 8 average. Jakeem Grant, 2 for 4, 27 yards, 6.75 average. Frank Gore was 1 for 1, 19 yards. That was a huge play to seal the deal for us. We had 19 yards to go. He got 19 yards on this catch and run. He had a 19 average. It was his only catch. AJ Derby was 1 for 2, 19 yards, 1 touchdown, 9.5 average. Kenny Stills 2 for 3, 17 yards, 5.7 average. And Kenyon Drake was 4 for 4, 17 yards, 4.25 average. So obviously, that's why people were talking about, it's a big deal that you don't have a number 1 back and a number 1 receiver. No, it's not. This is what Gase wants to do. He wants to spread the ball around. And we've already started to see it, but we've only scratched the surface of the creativity that Gase has in store. So keep an eye out for that. Now, overall, our linebackers and secondary, I think, did pretty well, but they do need to tighten up a little bit. We do want to try and get these numbers down for opposing receivers. Quincy Enunwa was 7 for 11, 92 yards with an 8.34 average. Terrell Pryor was 4 for 8. 84 yards and a 10.5 average. Bilal Powell was 5 for 6, 74 yards, a touchdown, and a 12.3 average. So see, they weren't able to run the ball, which was great, but they did get some production from, their pass game, which we do want to limit. Although with, what it was, obviously a lot of that was playing catch up, so I don't hate on it so much, but obviously we want to try and be a little bit tighter. Christopher Herndon was 2 for 4 for 30 yards and a 7.5 average, and Robbie Anderson was 3 for 5, 27 yards and a 5.4 average. So, like I said, there were definitely a few fumbles in this game. Ryan Tannehill had 2. He lost 1. Daniel Kilgore had 1 and lost it. Quincy Enunwa lost 1 or had 1 but got it back. Robbie Anderson had 1 and lost it. Christopher Herndon had 1 but got it back, they got it back. Sam Darnold had 1 but they got it back. So we caused 4 fumbles, but we only managed to get 1 of them. If we could have gotten 1 or 2 or 3 more of those, it would have been a completely a much more dominant performance. But that's how it goes. The ball bounces weird sometimes. We'll have games where we do better. I absolutely see that for sure. All right, so getting into some, defensive statistics. Our defensive leaders were Kiko Alonso. He had 13 solo tackles. 13 solo tackles. Jesus, crazy. No assisted though. 13 solo tackles. He had two of those forced fumbles. Bobby McCain was 4 solo tackles. 1 pass defense. Devon Godshaw was 4 solo, 2 assisted, 2 tackles for loss. Raekwon McMillan had 3 solo. He had a fumble recovery, that 1 fumble recovery. William Hayes had 2 tackles solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Robert Quinn had 2 solo tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. Andre Branch had 2 solo tackles with a tackle for loss. Akeem Spence had 2 solo tackles, 1 assisted with a tackle for loss. Cameron Rake was 1 for 1 on tackles, 1 tackle for loss. TJ McDonald had 1 solo, 1 interception for 31 yards and 1 pass defense. Jordan Phillips had 1 tackle, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 pass defense. So you see there's a bunch of guys all throughout our defense, from the defensive line all the way through the secondary, who are making plays, getting tackles, getting forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, interceptions, passes defensed, all across the board. So it's really good to see. I think that just as the defense is already playing very, very, very well. And so, I really do believe that this is going to be a team that continues to improve week in and week out. And I think if that happens, then we are going to be golden throughout the season. And I think that we will be able to attain the lofty goals that I have, that I see for this team. So getting to their statistics, they do have a good defense. They have a really solid defense, and the Jets are always tough on us. Like I said, I do want to be fair, and they gave us some problems. We're going to beat them again, this year. Next time they're coming down to our turf, and, we're going to be much better at that point in the year than we are now. And, we're going to beat them then. But anyway, that's for another day, and it'll be a tough fight then too. But we're going to, whatever. But anyway, so getting back to this, Buster Skrine led the way for them. He had 6 solo, 1 assist. Leonard Williams was 5 solo, 1 assist, 2 tackles for loss. Avery Williamson had 4 solo, 1 fumble recovery. Doug Middleton was 4 solo, 2 assists, 1 tackle for loss. Jamal Adams, 4 solo, 3 assists, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble. Brandon Copeland had 3 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Steve McClendon 2 solo, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. Morris Claiborne, 1 solo, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss. Henry Anderson, 1 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Jordan Jenkins, 1 solo, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. So obviously, like I said, there were some mistakes on our part. We lost too many fumbles. We need to be better about that, a little bit better on ball security and execution, consistency. But, I think that Adam Gase and this team, like I said, will work that out. As for the kicking game, Jason Sanders didn't have to kick any field goals. Everything we scored was touchdowns. It was only 3. We definitely want to have a better second half than we did. More like mirror the first half. We put up 20 points in the first half. We basically commanded the game throughout that first half, and we want to continue to do that into the second. So, but keep an eye out for that and look for that to improve. But he didn't have any field goals, and he was 2 for 3 on extra points. He did miss one, his first miss of any kind so far in the regular season. But that's something for the rookie to learn from, and I have confidence in him and Darren Rizzi to get that worked out, and I don't expect him to miss too many more this season. For them, Jason Myers had 2 field goal attempts. He made them both with a long of 55, and he missed his only extra point. For punting, here's one thing that, like I said, all 3 phases of the game played really well together, and this was part of it. Matt Hawk really did his job. He had 6 punts, which obviously we want to have less punts overall in the game, but he did his job. He had 6 punts for a 49.2 average. He had 5 of his 6 punts down inside the 20 with a long of 63. So he did great. That was part of the reason why we were able to win and keep them so low scoring, because their field position was just not good for the entire game. Lachlan Edwards, their punter, he had 5 of them, 52.6 average, 2 inside the 20 with a long of 60. Kickoff returns, Jakeem Grant had 1 for a 34 average. He got 34 yards on it, with a long of 34. So it was just the 1. And then they didn't actually have any kickoff returns. It was just touchbacks the whole time, anytime we kicked off to them. But as far as punt returns, Jakeem Grant had 3 for a 16-yard average with a long of 22, and Andre Roberts for them had 1 with a 4 average and a long of 4. So anyway, there you go, guys. There's, I broke down the game for you, gave you all the stats, kind of told you, how our team fared. I definitely, like I said, I definitely think that they just need to tighten up their consistency across the board. I think that this team is doing really well. They're playing together. They're playing for each other. They are getting better. And I think that has been evident from preseason game 1 all the way till now. It has been getting cleaner. They've been getting better and better and better, and we hope to only continue to see that. So anyway, with that, our next game next Sunday is against the Oakland Raiders at Hard Rock Stadium. It's a 1 p.m. game Eastern, 10 a.m. game here on the West Coast. So let's get ready for that. I know the team's going to enjoy their victory tonight, but they're going to turn around quick and start getting ready for the Oakland Raiders. And obviously I have some interviews for you. There was Cam Wake, Frank Gore, Ryan Tannehill, and Adam Gase all had post-game press conferences. So I will attach those in for you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little late tonight, but I know you guys are going to enjoy it. I hope you do enjoy it. If you do, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with all your friends and family, everybody all Dolphin fans. Post it up on the internet, every place you can think of. Spread it around. Let's build this thing. Let's build it together, and let's support our team. We are going to have a great year. With that said, guys, I am signing off. This is your boy Dillon, and I'll see y'all soon. Phins up.
defensive line seemed to have a very productive day today. What aspect of your performance were you most proud of?
Well, before I begin, obviously, I just passed Frank out there. I just wanted to take a minute to congratulate him on, such a tremendous personal accomplishment. Fourth place all time leading rusher. I think that's kind of mind-blowing, honestly. And I think the team as a whole is just honored to play with the guy. And I know I can speak for them to say that and just give them congratulations. But, I think it was no secret that they were going to come out and run the ball, and I don't think there's any secret that we were going to try to go out and stop the run. I think that's probably more often than not a theme of football every week in the NFL, but probably even more so this week. They want to do that, get the ball rolling, get the momentum going, and have us on our heels. But, we want to take it to them, and we've been kind of focusing on that all week in practice. And I think the guys went out and did a good job doing that today.
And if you could be a little bit selfish about the defensive line, you guys have 5 interceptions as a team. Last year you only had 9 interceptions. What has the defensive line's role been in those interceptions?
Don't ask the DBs. Honestly, I like to think that anytime we get a sack, I think that the back end has a big role to play in that. Again, like most D linemen may not tell you that, but vice versa, when there's pressure on the quarterback and he may be making an errant throw or he sees pressure or he's running out the pocket and making throws outside of his comfort zone, I would like to think that leads to interception. So I think you have to take into account the role that the back end, the DBs, linebackers play when we get pressure and we get sacks, because obviously there's nowhere to go with the ball and he's holding it for another second, going to his third and fourth read, whatever it may be, and we get time to get there. On the back end of that, we're getting there a little faster than he may want us to, and he's throwing the ball up maybe a second before the timing is right, and they're getting interception. So tell X he owes me a pat on the back.
How long did that second half feel? Because you guys are on the field a lot, obviously, and you had to make one last stop.
Not as long as last week. So it was quick. It was like a snap of a finger in comparison. But honestly, I feel like as a defender, that's just the nature of the business. No matter where the ball is placed, no matter what happens, put on a 2-yard line, you got to go out there and get a stop. So we don't really clock watch, so I couldn't really tell you. It was a situation where whenever your number's called, you got to go out there and your job's keep points off the board. So I think for the most part, the guys did well doing that.
How did it feel with the last several minutes to be on the sidelines as the offense ran out the clock?
I like going out there trying to end the game. Honestly, I'm sure Ryan will come in here shortly and tell you that he likes to be out there to kneel it. Honestly, I'll take it. It's probably a good feeling to watch them kneel it out for the clock to run out. I think that's tribute to what they've done throughout the game. And to be honest, I think they earned that. They earned that going out there and just, letting the clock run out and taking a knee. That's a tribute to what they've done through the course of the game. So it was enjoyable. We were getting ready. We didn't know. Again, they had a couple stop times where they had to go and get a first down to run it out. We were getting ready to go, but, as I said, Ryan will come in here, and he did a great job, making plays. Frank just left. Tremendous play. Smart, getting down, getting the clock rolling. I think, those guys did what they needed to do, and they earned the right to go out there and kneel it out.
What was that last 2 plays of that first half, the importance of that to you guys? Had a bust and there's an overthrow, and then you get a tackle at the goal line, clock runs out.
All from April through training camp, it was all about getting to the ball. You never know what's going to happen. Get to the ball. And was it Mink or Bobby? I don't know who hit him. Whoever it was. Again, it doesn't matter. If he, whoever that was, didn't get to the ball and force, the guy out, keep the guy out, then it would have maybe been a whole different ball game. But that one play, you never know when you got to get to the ball, keep him out, go shut out for the first half. That's a tribute to what, like I said, all that training, all the running to the ball throughout training camp. You never know when that's going to come up, and in turn, maybe it won us a game today.
I've never asked a question about the punter, but did you notice what the punter did tonight?
I haven't took good time to know. Usually when they're punting, I'm on my way to do something as far as defense goes. But what do you do? What happened?
He was really good. He just kept pinning them down there.
Well, thank you. I have to give him a pat on the back. Heck, yeah, I'll give him a pat on the back.
Give who a pat on the back?
Yeah.
What?
Who's the punter?
Are y'all serious or you joking? You guys are funny.
Cam, along those lines, were you aware of how far back the Jets were starting each possession?
No, I definitely noticed that. I think they had a couple penalties as well. And to be honest, as any offense probably tell you, going 80, 90 yards is probably not a good way to start off a series. And that's obviously going to help us out. More opportunities to get stops. They got a longer distance to get into scoring position. I think that, again, that's obviously beating a dead horse long ago, talking about playing together, talking about offense playing, defense, special teams, all working together. The complementary football, as I have said many times, that's how you're going to win games consistently. You can't have one phase doing a decent job, another phase kind of letting the ball drop. I think today was overall a good job. I think, again, still we had some plays that we would want back, some drives that we didn't, do everything correct. We got some work to do, but complementary football, for the most part of the game, that's why we got a W today.
Every team wants to start strong. You guys have put yourself in position now to 2-0. What's the feeling now going forward?
Well, we like to enjoy it for the next 20 hours or so, maybe. And then you got to hit the erase button. We're back to 0-0 by around Monday, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., somewhere around there. I have no idea what time it is, but around that time, you got to erase the clock because the next team, I don't even know who it is, they don't care what we did last week. And the Jets didn't care what we did last week. They didn't care about our longest game. They didn't care about any of that. It's about this game today. So it'll be fun for a ride home. It'll be fun maybe tomorrow morning when we're out there lifting weights and talking smack to each other. But Monday afternoon, it'll be erased, and we got to move on to the next and treat that game the same way we did this one.
How you guys played defensively today, the rest of your standard, how do you want to play ball forward?
Honestly, just on the surface, it was good, but there's more to be desired. I think there's plays there's more out there, and I think you ask any defensive guy out there, and the coaches involved, we have more work to do, and I think we can be even better, definitely. So I think it's a good start. Being at this game, too, we want to continue to improve week in and week out, but I'm looking forward to being better next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. So I think it's a good start, but satisfied? No, not yet.
What kind of statement do you think it makes for this defensive line that you guys have contained a physical rushing team, probably for the second week in a row?
Well, I'd hope that's a baseline starting point. I don't think many guys, when they're patting each other on the back, I think that should have been expected from a while ago. We put in the work, we put in the time, and going out and executing was the last key. I told you guys back before the season started that, yes, it's nice on paper, rah-rah, culture, this, that, all these words that are thrown around in the league, but until you actually go out there with your pads on and do it, then you can talk about what you've done. You can't talk about we're going to change the culture, we're going to be this, we're going to be that. You don't speak things into existence. You have to act. And so far we've acted. Still, like I told the gentleman in the back, there's still more to be desired, but a good starting point. Surprised? No, I think it's more expected, and again, I only expect to get better.
Doubted my whole life, especially coming out of college with the injuries I had. People saying that I won't be in the league. I won't been in the league in 2 to 3 years. I'll be done, and I've been blessed to keep going and also have success. And also be able to be mentioned with the guys who I mentioned with, like Emmett, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Curtis Martin. My man was Damian Thomas, the guy who I looked up to. Once I got in the league, I loved the Damian Thomas style. So it's a blessing.
That's a pretty good group to be mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about which ended up being one of the really big plays in the game. 3rd and 19, you picked the ball up almost off the ground and get the first down to really kind of put this game away. It seems like when I see you on the sideline, you always want to be in the game.
It's it's different. It's tough. I'm a guy who used to be in the game, but I respect my coaches. I respect I started back as Kendra Drake, who taught the guy, and whenever my number get called, I try my best to try to make something happen, and that's it.
You lose one of your key guys in the offensive line. Tim Larson comes in, and they seemed to play very well today. I know it was tough running inside, protection-wise, and some of the other things they were able to do pretty well.
When I first got here, I liked the Tez. I liked the way he played the game. He played the game the right way up front. He's tough. He prepared like he's a starter, and in this game, it's always the next man up. And it's his time to go, and he did a great job today.
I know you've always been about silencing doubters, but did you ever think that you would be the fourth leading rusher in NFL history?
I never thought about it. Always taking one year at a time. Especially when I got injured. In college. And I thought, when you're in college and you have a successful year, especially coming out of Miami at the time where I was there. I used to look ahead of time, and when I had my knee injuries back to back, I always say I just got to take it one day at a time, and whatever happened, you're gonna let God. Whatever happened, it's gonna happen for you, and keep God first, and that's what I did my whole career after that.
Did they keep you updated throughout the game?
Nah, we trying to win a game. The record, that gonna happen, but I'm here to try to win games. I'm trying to do whatever it takes to, help this team be successful. That's why I try my best. When I get opportunity, my number get called, try to be successful out there for my teammates.
I was told you took a picture with the O-line after the game. Why was that important?
These guys who I done, got moved up to fourth with, and the one who I was with most of the time in San Fran was Kilgore. And you guys work hard. They work hard all summer, and and we got it today. So that was big.
Right, two games into the season, you've been on a lot of different football teams, or a lot of teams, a lot of different groups. How do you like this group you've got in this locker room right now?
I like how tight we is. We is one. We all together. No one think they're better than the next man, and we just keep working. I saw that when I first got here, and the off-season workout, how tight the group was, and I said, as long as we believe and believe in our coaches and work together the way we do, we should be all right on the season. So I like how the locker room is.
Frank, so after the game, I asked Adam Gase, you got the game ball. Why? Was it because you're the fourth leading rusher all time, or because you made that 19-yard catch that helped seal the game? Take your pick. Which was more important to you?
We won. A division game. When you win a division game, it's like 1-2. So, the main thing, I just want to win. I want to win and keep going.
How likely is it that you can catch Barry? I think Barry's third.
I don't know. I just got to keep working and just keep playing and, try to be successful every Sunday and see where I go, after this year, Just taking one game at a time.
What can you tell us about the person on your necklace?
It's my mom. It's my mom, she's my everything.
Frank, you knew on the run when you passed Curtis Martin, you knew?
I didn't know. Cause I was getting stopped, so I was like, man, I might have get them 14 today. But, we got the win. That's the main thing.
Frank, on that 19-yard pass, what did you see and what you seem to be blocking and you moved out?
Well, my man didn't come, so I got out, and Tannehill threw the ball, and I caught it, and we got the first down.
It seems like you always get, exactly how many yards the team needs. I think last game you needed 20 and you got 21, right?
Well, I hope I could keep going.
Why do you think that is? That you always seem to get
I don't know. It's just happening, I guess. The play was there, and I tried to make the play. I made the play, and we got the first down.
When you make a play like that, does it come into your mind, this game is sealed now, we got this?
Oh, yeah. When I got the first down, I know it's going to take the knee to get the win.
Maybe we were able to do that. Guys really hung in there, stuck together, and we got it done.
On the 3rd and 19, who was the primary, and I guess what option was Frank for you?
Yeah, Frank did a good job of buying time and getting open there. He's actually was in protection at first. If he goes out free, he was supposed to be on the other side, but he went across, possibly in protection. They brought a pressure there. Kenny was primary. Didn't feel like he was getting open. Kind of got contact near the line of scrimmage. Had a decent pocket there. Was able to move around a little bit, and then Frank made a heck of a catch there down low. I kind of was off balance, and the ball really just went straight down on me. And Frank did an amazing job of scooping that thing. Really amazing catch, and then getting that first down.
The impact of that play was probably the ball game, right?
Yeah, it was huge. We needed to make a play there. It was 3rd and 18. I think ball was on like the 44-yard line, somewhere around there. We really needed to get 10 yards at the minimum to have a shot at a field goal. And Frank really came out big for us right there.
Hey, Ryan, between Jakeem and Albert Wilson, the way you've used them in the first 2 games, seem to give you a lot of different options of things you can do with those 2 players.
Yeah, we have a lot of speed in that wide receiver room. You had Albert Wilson, Jakeem, the versatility that they have. Being able to run the reverses, to put Albert in the backfield. Go 4 wide receivers and a tight end, then bring him back and use him as a running back. He has great vision. He's great with the ball in his hand. So it really opens up a big package for us and helps us keep that pressure on the defense.
You came down awkwardly on your knee at one point in the game, limped over the sideline. There's certainly a concerned look in your face. How did that? You obviously came back and were able to do a lot of things, but was a little scare for you at that moment?
I tweaked my right ankle a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's part of the game. I just had to walk it off.
You talked about what went wrong in the second half. Stuff went right in the first half. So what was your thoughts coming into the halftime? You put up 3 touchdowns in a game, which is not like every day.
Yeah, I think defense played really good for us. He got those turnovers, gave us great field position. We played complementary football. It's something we talk about a lot, is being able to take advantage of those situations, and when they give us good field position, get that thing in the end zone. And we were able to do that early, and I think that was obviously a big factor in the game. But yeah, we felt great coming in at halftime, and had a good plan going in the second half. But like I said, we had 2 mistakes all the way around. Tons of opportunity, and it's nothing drastic, but little mistakes here and there will kill drives, and we have to be able to eliminate those and string drives together.
What went into your decision to run the football on that zone read near the end of the game?
Yeah, it was just a zone read, right? So I'm reading defensive end there. They went cover 0, loaded up the box, and obviously we're trying to stop it. So defensive end closed a little bit, felt like I could get the edge, and was able to.
Was the first play of the game a called run?
No, that was actually a bootleg pass. Yeah, they just I think they did a good job of holding on to Danny on the backside. He's supposed to be coming across there. I don't know exactly what happened. He got hung up, came around, and there was no one there, so just ran.
That last run that you, I guess, to kind of seal the game off, and kind of saw some emotion with you were hugging your offensive lineman and all that different jazz. What kind of went through your mind? Got that big first down and close it out.
Yeah, I was fired up. At that point, we had the game in hand. Fired up and proud of our guys. We battled through. Like I said, things weren't going well for us up to that point in the second half, but we knew we needed it. We knew the weight of the game was on us, and we found a way to just string that drive together, keep the chains moving, and run the clock out. So yeah, it's an emotional game. You get a win on the road in the division. There's a lot of emotion there. It's a lot of fun.
All right, talk a little bit about that offensive line. You lose Josh Sitton, Ted Larson comes in, and they seem to play a very good game for you today.
Yeah, it's tough. Losing Sitton. He's a veteran guy. I have so much respect for him. He's such a good player. Plays at an extremely high level. I think elevates the play of the guys up front, and it's tough to replace a guy like that. But Ted Larson came in. Another guy who's played a lot of football for us. Played for us last year, and has really done a good job for us. So I think he stepped right in there and did a great job today.
Ryan, Phins kept saying that you guys were very vanilla in the preseason. You don't want to show a lot. What can you say about what we've seen these last 2 games? Because it seems like we have seen a lot of creativity and a lot of different personnel being used differently.
Yeah, we have I think a variety of personnel that we can use. We have a lot of talent in a lot of different areas. So, and we can switch those things up and keep the pressure on the defense, keep them guessing. Like I said, use Albert as a running backs, go 5 wide. You keep them guessing as a defense. They can't just run out there and play what they want. They kind of have to adjust to you. So that's something that we'll look to do for the rest of the year.
This is the second time in your career you're 2-0. Last time was 2013. What's it say about this team that you're 2-0 and you probably haven't played your best football yet?
There's a long road in front of us and a big opportunity. You don't play your best football, but you're able to fight through it and get wins. That's what you're here for, right? Is to get those wins. So when we finally get this thing going and get clicking, the onus is on us, is to find a way to, like I said, as an offense, put drives together. Defense, I think, is doing a good job. They're getting turnovers, getting the ball in our hands. I can't really ask for much more out of the defense. I'm really happy with the way they're playing, proud of those guys. But as an offense, we have to turn it up and take our level of play up.
Last question, guys.
Thank you.
You had to feel pretty good coming in at halftime.
Yeah. We felt things were going good, momentum-wise. We were hoping for a stop coming into this out of the second. When we started the second half. We didn't do a very good job there. And we have a fumble on the first play, and then, really getting the turnover. That kind of helped, at least stop things for a second. But, we just got to do a better job being consistent, putting drives together.
It seemed like that front seven of your defense came out very aggressive. They were getting in the gap, getting penetration, causing problems back there. And then early on with Darnold, putting pressure on him, making him put the ball up for grabs, and you come away with the takeaways.
I thought the guys did a good job of executing the game plan. We wanted to stop the run. Try to make it a one-dimensional game. I thought, 42 rushing yards, it's a good start for us. We got the turnovers we needed when we needed them. And then we had opportunities where they were kind of creeping in the red zone, at least holding them to a long field goal, which is, important for those guys, give the opportunity to possibly miss it.
Talk about Frank Gore. He moves on to number 4 on the all-time rushing list. More importantly today, when you needed a 3rd and 19, kind of a sticky point there with them moving the football, he picks the ball off the ground, goes for the first down, and really puts the game up. Ends the game at that point.
It was a good job. They must have been feeling. Our guys did a good job running off the ball. We had a shot called there. We're going to try to end it right there, and Ryan got a little bit of pressure, stepped up, found a way to get the ball off. Frank made a great catch, and had the awareness to not only get the first down, but then get down to finish the game.
It turned into a field position game. Matt Hawk certainly gave you guys field position. Seemed like all day long they were inside the 15, the 10, the 8, those types of situations, trying to get out of them all day long.
Yeah, we were trying to make them, drive the length of the field, and that was one thing. If we had to flip field position, that was going to be a success. So, we'd like to finish a couple of those drives differently on offense, but I think if our defense keeps playing like that, we're going to get more opportunities, and we'll find a way to get in the end zone.
How do you, where you're sitting right now, how do you look at Ryan Tannehill and his performance today?
I thought he had a lot of good things. There's a lot of things we got to clean up. Having him back, it's nice to be able to do some of the things we do where he runs the ball and has big plays in critical situations.
When you look at your skill players and Ryan and some of the things you did defensively, did you see a lot of things today that were reflective of what you envisioned this team would look like?
Yeah, what we're doing out there is close to what we're looking to do, and we just we have to do a few things better. We got to be a little cleaner in practice, which will carry over to Sunday, and next week we got to have a better week.
Is this encouraging to you in the sense that this feels like a start toward becoming what you laid out?
It started for us in April. It's just nobody else realized that. So, we'll just keep getting better and just keep surprising people.
With that last drive, at 6 minutes left, having to close it out, what you see out of the team there?
They had the attitude of they weren't going to let them get the ball back. We felt good about what we had ready to go for that series. It was good chatter on the sideline. Guys were ready to go and knew what to do to execute. They knew what was coming. It's tough when you play that team because it's hard to run the ball. And Todd's defense is always like that, and we seem to stick with it and find a way to get some yards when we need them.
It seemed like you took advantage of Sam with a couple interceptions today. What did you see with the DBs with TJ and Xavier?
I thought those guys did a good job. They were aggressive. They were trying to contact receivers at the line of scrimmage. They were trying to make windows tight. I thought the safeties were moving all over the place. That's what we want them to do. We want those guys to be active, and when they get opportunity to make plays, as long as we make those plays, then that's going to be game changing for us.
So Albert Wilson catches a 29-yard pass for a touchdown. Wildcat, jet sweep, end around. Is it going to be impossible to figure out what Albert Wilson is going to do on offense when he's on the field?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to try to make it hard. You know, it could just be a regular lining up. You know, that's what happens when you have a plan for a guy when you sign him as a free agent.
That's 2-0, Phil.
On to the next one.
What do you think of your offensive line, considering that they lost Josh?
I thought they did a good job. They were tight. You know, that's a tight room, and those guys figure out a way to get it done. I thought they did a good job, you know, especially on that touchdown pass before the end of the half. I mean, they had great protection there. And then Ryan did a good job of finding basically a scramble drill almost, even though he stayed in the pocket. So those guys got guys covered up for the most part. We get a couple things didn't go the way that we needed them to go, but, you know, we'll get better from here.
It's never perfect, but on the Drake touchdown run, it looked like it was probably pretty close the way it was blocked.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that play is. I mean, there's going to be 9, 10 guys almost in the box, you know, and he did a great job. Gesicki did a great job of staying on his guys, and Kenyon got skinny and found a way to get in there.
How do you think you guys reacted on the O-line to finding out this week that Josh was going to be done for you?
I think they were probably down early. He was kind of letting them know that it was a little worse than what we originally thought, and you know, he's been good about it. He's been around. He's been making sure that he's staying with those guys, talking to them. You know, he's kind of that old school guy that those guys look up to, and they look to when they have, you know, questions on like what's going on with the defense, or even today on the sideline. You know, he just brings a good energy for that group, and those guys like him, and I'm glad he's sticking around.
You mentioned this week that Ted stuck with you through some things that that a lot of players wouldn't like. Did you sense that there was a lot of good support for him in that room? A lot of guys kind of rallied behind him.
Oh yeah, those guys, they love Ted. You know, he's that whole group. There's 3 or 4 guys that are just old school. You know, just they don't say much, and they grind every day, and you know, they complain, but you never really know. You never hear them say it, but you kind of hear about it. So, but it's a good room.
Would you classify Tannehill's runs as RPOs, and if not, what are they, and what does that say about him? Because I think generally across the league, when you start looking at quarterbacks who can gain yardage on the ground, he would not be thought of as a guy in top 5 or even 10. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, this is just zone read. I mean, that's all it is. He does a good job. He knows how to read it. You know, he's a pretty good athlete, and he played wide receiver in college for a little bit. So, you know, he's not afraid to get out there and mix it up. It's not really something ideal. Sometimes we want him to get down probably a little sooner, but you know, in the critical parts of the game, when that's an option, you know, you can see what can be the result.
You kind of hold your breath a little bit when you went down awkwardly a little bit and came limping to the sideline?
Yeah, it was weird because I saw his knee kind of, I think it was on one of the sacks where his knee kind of hit the turf. And I've seen that go the other way a couple times where it's not good. And I was just trying to figure out what was going on, but, you know, he was all right.
So Frank Gore gets the game ball because he's the 4th leading rusher now of all time, or the 19-yard catch.
You can take your pick, either one. I'm happy about both of them.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interviews. I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, if you did, please hit the subscribe button, you know, share it with your friends, post on Facebook, you know, whatever. Hit the like button, and definitely leave me some comments, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to see or hear in the videos, you know, stuff like that. So definitely let me know. And of course, the most important thing is subscribe. So with that said, I'll see you guys soon, and fins up.